Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Village Board meeting of August 26th. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Flores.
Here, Joan. Here. Here.
Here. Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Representing staff this evening, to my left, our village manager Napoleon Haney, to my right, our village attorney Chris Cummings. To the audience's right, our police chief Denise McGrath, fire chief Bob Grabowski, finance director Amy Zakowski, community and economic development director Angela Maceras, public works director Josh Berman, and assistant village manager Terrence Aqua. In the audience, Lindsay Cabay, assistant finance director, Noah Schumer, assistant community development and economic development director, and way in the back, assistant public works director Patrick DiDiana. The minutes. Did I miss any? The minutes will combine the public hearing from August 12th as well as the regular meeting of August 12th. The minutes, any additions or corrections, trustee Harris-Jones?
Nothing.
Trustee Willis?
No.
Trustee Hyperman?
I have none.
Trustee Simpson?
No, sir.
Trustee Mason?
No, sir.
Trustee Roman?
Nothing.
And a motion to approve both of those minutes, please.
So moved.
Been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Hyperman. Roll call, please.
Here, Joan. Aye. Aye. Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman. Aye.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $723,929.49. Comments or questions? Trustee Harris-Jones?
No comments.
Trustee Willis?
None.
Trustee
I
Hyperman?
have none.
Trustee Simpson?
No questions.
Trustee Mason?
No questions.
Trustee Roman? May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Simpson, seconded by trustee Harris-Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones. Aye. Trustee Lewis. Aye. Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman. Aye.
The claims list is approved. Of that almost $724,000, two items comprise the majority of that claims list. Our payment to the city of Chicago Heights for water was $340,000, and our payment to Thorn Creek Sanitary District was $95,000. That amounted to $435,000, or 60% of that claims list. Presentations. Ms. Maceras, Mr. Schumer. A proclamation is going to be issued for Joshua Carrillos. Are you going to read it, or if you would, please?
Proclamation. Whereas economic development and community development are essential functions of the village of Homewood to ensure economic vitality, sustainability, growth, high quality of life, and sound development practices within the village. Whereas such functions rely on highly trained staff with diverse skill sets and backgrounds who are dedicated and positively contribute to the village through the work of economic and community development and to the support of the development of local young professionals and youth eager to contribute to these functions of Homewood and beyond. Whereas in 2025, the Village of Homewood dedicated a youth internship position within the village manager's office to mentor and train with the village economic and community development staff for a youth or student interested in a future career in urban planning, economic development, or public administration. Whereas Mr. Joshua Carrillos of Chicago Heights, Illinois, joined the Village of Homewood staff as economic community development intern in June of 2025 to support ongoing economic and community development projects currently underway in the village. And whereas Mr. Joshua Carrillo provided invaluable contribution to the economic and community development initiatives of the village, completing critical data analysis, collecting best practices for various community development projects, and providing essential insight and support for ongoing village initiatives and programs with mentorship from village staff. Therefore, President Richard Holfield of the Village of Homewood does hereby present this proclamation to Mr. Joshua Cruz for his dedicated service to the village and urges all citizens to join the village board of trustees and village staff in recognizing and honoring the contributions of Joshua's work to the well-being and quality of life of village residents, as well as a demonstration of exemplary civic engagement, volunteerism, and dedication to public service during his tenure with the village.
Thank you. Joshua, you want to come up and read?
So for context, Joshua served as our intern with the Economic and Development, Community Economic Development Division. He did a fantastic job. He blended right in our wild and hardworking, crazy environment. And he's a student at Olivet Nazarene College in Bourbonnais.
Josh was very involved in working on our, doing work on our appearance plan, on our parking, and some of our parking studies, and we want to present you, Josh, with this. Thank you so much for all of your dedication and the work that you did this summer and help. And we have,
some gifts as well from the village. So village staff also wanted to, again, give you a gift, just a thank you gift for all of your, service to the village. Again, it's a bold thing to volunteer, in general, and especially to the level that you did.
Yes.
We're honored to have you, and, we hope to have you back. Absolutely. Josh, here, we get a picture really quickly together? Great.
Who's the camera?
Terrence.
Has a camera? Phone?
Big Terrence.
All right. Oh, Eric's got us. All right, let's go in front of the podium here. Here we go, Josh. All right. We're gonna, all right, there we go. I'm gonna take one after that. Hold on. All right.
Drop something.
Oh.
Chief McGrath, swearing in of 3 new police officers.
Someone left their phone up here, probably important to return that. Tonight, we have the privilege of introducing you to the 3 newest officers to join the Homewood Police Department. These officers applied for the position through the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners entry-level application form and were hired as full-time police officers effective Monday, May 5th, 2025. They all attended the Cook County Sheriff's Police Academy in Triton College and graduated from the academy on August 21st, 2025. They are all currently in the police department's field training program. If I could have first up here, Officer Giovanni Lopez, who will be star number 14. Officer Lopez graduated from Horizon Science Academy in McKinley Park in 2020. He was previously employed as a paraprofessional, recruiter, and personal trainer. And if you could step to Ms. Flores, she will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your first name,
Giovanni Lopez,
have been appointed to the office of police officer for the village of Homewood,
reporting to the village.
to the appointed to the office of police officer of village of Homewood. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the municipal ordinance of the village of Homewood,
and the municipal ordinance of the village of Homewood.
and that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duty of office,
the duty of office,
police officer, according to the best of my ability.
police officer according to the best of my ability.
Next, if I could have Officer Lucas Huerta, star number 15. Officer Huerta graduated from Thornton Fractional High School in 2022 and attended South Suburban College. He was previously employed as a manager at the Homewood Chick-fil-A. He is joined tonight by his parents, grandparents, and girlfriend. His mom, Angela, and dad, Stephen, will be pinning his star on.
You want to raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your first name,
I, this was,
having been appointed to the office of police officer
officer,
for the village of Homewood, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the municipal ordinances of the village of Homewood, and that I will faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of police officer
the duties of office of police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Welcome again.
Thank you.
And mom and dad would like to step up and take over the honors.
Chief, they might need a little help. Ah,
And Officer Haley Gibbs, number 27. Officer Gibbs graduated from Oak Forest High School in 2022. She obtained an associate's degree in general studies with a focus on psychology and criminal justice from Moraine Valley Community College. Officer Gibbs was previously employed by Delta Sonic as a customer advisor and location sales manager. She is joined tonight by various family and her mom, Sandy, and dad, Rick, who will be pinning her star on.
You want to raise your right hand, and you're repeating after me. I, Haley Gibbs. I'm sorry, state your first name. I, Haley Gibbs, have been appointed to the office of police officer. Been appointed to the office of police officer. For the village of Homewood. For the village of Homewood. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the State of Illinois. The Constitution of the State of Illinois. And the municipal ordinance of the village of Homewood. And municipal ordinance of the village of Homewood. And that I will faithfully discharge. That I will faithfully discharge. The duties of the office of police officer. The duty of office of police officer. According to the best of my ability. According to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Sorry.
I'll hold you back.
You're over this side.
I'll hold you back.
Now, all of those officers in the back, I'm sure they all remember when they were sworn in, right, Sam? Look at them a moment to leave. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. Yes, sir.
I am Mike Dickover, resident of Homewood and dog owner like many of you here. And today is National Dog Owner or Dog Appreciation Day. So if you have a four-legged friend or three-legged friend, make sure you give them some extra pets. The reason I'm here is we've got a problem in Homewood with loose dogs. To be clear, it's not a dog problem, I don't see. I think it's a problem with the dog owners. This was all prompted 11 months ago when my wife was viciously attacked in Southgate. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm talking about what happened after that. As part of the whole process, we went to the, I don't know what the word is, but the fine process when folks come here to pay their fines. We went to several of those and we saw a laundry list of folks coming in and paying their $50 dog fines. All of them were $50 except for the incident with my wife. And so we started to think, wow, and nobody, questioned the fine. Nobody, tried to negotiate it down, anything like that. They just paid the fine. So we thought, well, maybe that fines is a little low, right? And so we started to think about it and we looked in the village ordinance and we saw that, well, from what we could tell, anywhere from 30 to 40 years ago, this fine was set at $50. So we looked at what that $50, 30 or 40 years ago is in today's funds. It's around $150. So we thought, okay, maybe this fine should be $150. So we started to look at, my wife started to look at other villages that were non-home rule in Cook County and started to look at what their minimum fines were for dogs loose. What we found, or what she found, was the minimum, everything that she found was at least $150, if not more, for that baseline. So we thought, okay, great, we got our $150 straight. But is this really an issue that, are we just, making a mountain out of a molehill? So what we did is we looked at how many dogs have been registered in Homewood. So we looked at from 2020 to 2025. We found that there's 678 dogs that were registered in Homewood. Of those, in that same period of time, 132 incidents of loose dogs were reported. Those were broken down into 4 different categories: 13 off-leash, 4 dangerous dogs at large, 44 animal at large, and 71 animal at large prohibited. I don't know what any of that means other than that's the categorization of the police force. So of that 132 out of the 678, I did the math, it's 19.5% or almost 1 in 5 dogs. So for every 5 dogs there is, 1 dog is going to get out and home. And of those incidences, 63 were dog bites. So that's almost 48% of the 132, or half of the dogs that got out, bit someone or bit another dog. And those ranged from unknown problem, disturbance, animal bite, and assist the fire department, which was the case with my wife. So I know that the village board has been, we've talked to a couple of folks, and we know that this is something that you guys are considering. We did the homework. We really think that this is something that should be done, and should be done sooner rather than later. Citizens are in danger, and I think assessing that fine, a higher fine on those dog owners, is appropriate. Again, it's 1 in 5 dog owners are having their dogs loose. They cannot keep control of their dogs. Half of those dogs are then biting someone or another dog. And really that $150 fine is consistent with what we've seen on other villages. So with that, I'll stop. Any questions or anything on?
We understand what you're talking about, Mike.
Okay,
Yeah, Mr. Haney will call through.
excellent. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Amy Crump. I'm a resident of Homewood, and I'm going to continue with reading from On Tyranny, and I'm on chapter 10. Believe in the truth. To abandon facts is to abandon freedom. If nothing is true, then all is spectacle, and the biggest wallet pays for the most blinding lights. You submit to tyranny when you renounce the difference between what you want to hear and what is actually the case. This renunciation of reality can feel natural and pleasant, but the result is your demise as an individual and thus the collapse of any political system that depends upon individualism. The first mode is the open hostility to verifiable reality, which takes the forms of presenting lies as if they were facts. In 2017, the American president averaged 6 lies a day. The next year it was 16, and the following year it was 22. In 2020, he told on average of about 27 lies a day. The second mode is shamanistic incantation. This fascist style depends upon endless repetition, designed to make fiction plausible. The big lie about the elections was repeated over and over. Followers did not want to believe that they could be deceived on such a big scale and took comfort in the repetition. The big lie created its own world where anyone who pointed to simple truths was the enemy. The next mode is magical thinking, or the open embrace of contradiction. The winner gets the fewer votes. The vote is always rigged, and you should vote for me anyway. Black people are taking away the vote from white people, although American history has shown that the opposite has always been the case. Accepting untruth of this kind requires a blatant abandonment of reason. The final mode is misplaced faith. It involves a sort of self-deifying claims the president made when he said that I alone can solve it, or I am your retribution. We now find ourselves very much concerned with something we call post-truth, and we tend to think that its scorn of everyday facts and its construction of alternative realities is something new or postmodern. Yet there is little here that George Orwell did not capture 7 decades ago in his notion of doublethink. Fascists despise the small truths of daily existence. They love slogans that resonate like a new religion, and they prefer creative myths to history or journalism. Post-truth is pre-fascism. And as I've said before, this battle is going to continue in the streets with peaceful protests. And I encourage all of you to join us at the next march on September 1st at 11 a.m. at the Haymarket Memorial on Des Plaines Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? Not? Ms. Flores, the House member spoke, please.
We ask the board to consider a motion to pass, approve, authorize, accept, or award the following items. Pass ordinance MC 1089, approving a text amendment to the zoning ordinance to add section 4410, the village sign code, amend subsection 440414 to classify murals and public art installations as accessory structures subject to accessory use and structure requirements, and amend section 4407 to establish development review procedures, design permits, sign variances, comprehensive sign plans, appearance review, and public art and mural review. Approve a 3-year collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Homewood and the Metropolitan Alliance of Police Chapter 621 retroactive to May and extending to April 30th of 2028, and approve a 3-year collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Homewood and the Metropolitan Alliance of Police Chapter 622, retroactive to May 1st, 2025, extending through April 30th, 2028. To approve a corresponding cost of living adjustment for non-unit village employees, retroactive to May 1st, 2025. Item C, approve a 3-year collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Homewood and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFC ME Council 31, Local 2891, retroactive to May 1st, 2025, and extending to April 30th, 2028. Item D, to pass ordinance M 2365, authorizing the village mayor to sell, trade, and or dispose of 2 pieces of electronic equipment listed as surplus property. Pass ordinance M 2366, increasing the allowed number of Class 4A liquor licenses by 1 for Mitchell and Michael Hospitality LLC for their location at 18031 Dixie Highway, subject to successful completion of the application requirements for a Village of Homewood liquor license, including approved background checks. Item F, pass resolution R 3232, authorizing the village president to enter into redevelopment agreements to provide financial assistance from the non-SID business incentive program in the amount of $23,007 for improvements, including remodeling to the interior and adding an ADA accessible bathroom to the building at 1863 Dixie Highway. Pass resolution R 3233, authorizing the village president to enter into a redevelopment agreement with the Fred Sirka to provide financial assistance from the non-SID business incentive program in the amount of $1,739 for building improvements, including replacing the air compressor for the fire sprinkler system at 1865 Harwood Avenue. Item H, waive competitive bidding due to utilizing a vendor currently under contract and award contract with CNC Lawn Care of Linwood in the amount of $48,350 for the conversion of 3 45 tree rings and the installation of forest pave along Dixie Highway and portion of Martin Avenue. Item I, approve a budget amendment in the amount of $5,000 and pass ordinance M 2367, authorizing the village president to enter into intergovernmental agreements between the Village of Homewood and the Homewood Fossil Park District, facilitating the transfer of the property at 18335 Pierce Avenue to the Village of Homewood for the amount of $5,000. Item J, waive competitive bidding due to purchasing through a joint governmental or cooperative purchasing program, authorize the purchase of 1 asphalt crack sealing machine from Craftco, in the amount of $60,581.40. And to approve the purchase of 1 2025 Ford Expedition from Ford of Homewood, the lowest bidder in the amount of $49,661, and approve the purchase and installation of lighting, accessories, painting, and equipment for an estimated total of $79,661.
Thank you. With regard to item F, we have a new business coming in. Thomas Davis, could you just come up and tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Beyond Books? Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tania Davis. I've been in corporate America for over 20 years as a C-suite executive. And my background, I have a master's degree, an MBA, and a PhD. And I'm hoping to serve the community through this bookstore. It's Beyond the Book, a literary experience. It will also have a podcast studio, and I'm hoping to engage the youth, all ages. There'll be events for the young folks, as well as the seasoned folks. And there'll also be book clubs and all that fun stuff. The website will launch next week with all the activities for everyone to sign up. I look forward to hosting all of you and connecting with all the business leaders in the community, which I've already started to do.
And the location,
18063 Dixie Highway.
and the easy way to find it is it's next to.
Eat rice.
Can't miss. And when do you plan to be open?
As I look at Angela and Noah, we're shooting for the end of September.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll look forward to your ribbon cutting.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. And also, is a representative from Mitchell and Michaels? Come up here, please. I know you've been up here before. Give us an update when you plan to open, when we can anticipate this restaurant coming about.
Well, thank you, first of all, for the support that we've had by the village up to this point, which has been very, very appreciated. So, initially, we went into the place and weren't gonna make so many changes, but eventually we decided, which was formerly Culture, to make a few cosmetic changes to the building. Since then, we have been operating with the limited license to utilize the space for our catering, which has been it's been pretty busy over there. And I know you guys, it's been last year since you had our food. Partner David served you up pretty well. So we're looking to open in September. Possibly towards the end of September, and hopefully with the ribbon cutting. With the approved liquor license at 25% of our sales would be liquor, 75% would be food. And it is family dining, full service with nights of entertainment as well.
We look forward to your opening,
Thank you very much.
and your food is delicious based on the
Yes, thank you.
samples you have brought in. I can't wait for you to open.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And one other item, item L, which involves the transfer of property from the Homewood Flossmoor Park District to the village by our landscape and maintenance area. We hope to plant a community garden there next year. So we'll be keeping the public informed as to what's going to be happening over there. Comments or questions from anyone in the audience with regard to any of these matters? Board comments? I'm sorry? By the landscape and maintenance, Josh, what's the address? It's on Pierce.
18335 Pierce Avenue. So just off the center. Can't miss it, big water tower.
Board comments with regard to these items? You hear it? Trustee Lewis.
Really looking forward to the end of September for Mitchell and Michael and beyond.
Trustee Hyperman.
I too am looking forward to Mitchell and Michaels and Beyond Books. Very exciting, as everything is on the agenda. I really want to point out items A, B, and C. B and C, I think it's a tremendous effort on the village manager's staff to do the collective bargaining agreements, and I know it was a tough job, and I'm glad we've got it done successfully, and I congratulate everybody that it's done. Additionally, item A, this is something that has been worked on for the last year, and it's a tremendous effort by village volunteers and residents, staff, professionals. And it's really something that needed to be done, the redoing of our sign code. And I think it was really, really well done, and it's a tremendous improvement.
Trustee Simpson.
The only thing I was gonna say is congratulations to resolving the MAP contract. I heard nothing but positive things from officers at the police department on how easy the process was and professional, and so good job to the staff. That's all I have, sir.
Trustee Mason.
Only thing I wanted to ask is the community garden. How's it gonna be used? Do we know? We have any idea?
All of this right now is conceptual. There's gonna be a lot of ideas.
A lot of planning
I'm just asking because I have a community garden spot. I would like to bring it home. So just checking.
There you go.
Sounds like he wants to be involved.
That sounds to me like a challenge.
You may be the board representative for that.
I should have.
Trustee Roman.
I'll just add that I'm excited about a lot of these things. I'm excited about the new businesses that are coming into town. I can't wait to eat at your restaurant.
Yes.
And I can't wait to bring my kids to the bookstore.
Yeah.
I'm also on the PTA for the 153 school district, so we would love to work together for all things books. So thank you guys for investing in our community and choosing to build your businesses here in our community. And there's lots of other improvements to our community and big projects on here, so all good things.
Okay, with all that being said, may I have a motion to accept the items on the consent agenda, please?
So move.
Second?
Been moved by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Garrett Jones. Aye. Trustee Willie. Aye. Trustee Michael.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved. Old business. Correction as to the former Delano, Mr. Saras.
Thank you. On tonight's agenda is a review of 3 proposals to purchase the village-owned commercial property, 180-155 Lucy Highway, formerly at Delano's. It is a 2,250 approximately square foot commercial storefront. As I said previously, Delano's, before that, I think it was Domino's. It's one of 3 commercial units in a building with 3 separate units with dedicated parking in the back. And it is 1 story. The village in 2020 acquired the property through foreclosure. And then the village solicited bids, transferred the property to owners of a Mediterranean restaurant. And after 4 years, the owners did not move forward with construction plans. So the village reacquired the vacant commercial property in October of 2024. The property has been vacant with delinquent property tax bills and deferred maintenance for many years. At the June 10th, 2025 board meeting, the village board passed an ordinance that directed the village manager and staff to solicit bids and proposals for the sale and development of the property. We placed the solicitation in the Chicago Tribune on 3 separate dates and on the village's website and also on social media. As a result, we did receive 3 proposals. Our staff review committee is included a diverse cross-section of our professional staff, and we have reviewed and evaluated the proposals, and we are here this evening for questions. So the 3 proposals, the first bidder, Munir Bawadi, who is the owner of Bawadi Construction at 18250 Harwood Avenue. This is a firm that renovated the building at 18250 Harwood, which was also vacant for quite some time, and proposes a modern Mediterranean restaurant. Initially, the proposal was a $4,000 offer. They did raise that to $15,000 in order to cover the village's acquisition costs, which were approximately $15,000. The plan includes modernized new front facade and complete interior renovation for a new counter service and sit-down dining. The second bid is from our local business owner, Mike Hussein, who operates and owns both of Homewood's Dunkin' Donuts, and has submitted a purchase offer for $50,000 for the property. The plan is to create a new dining destination called Indo-Pak Dhaba, which is Indo-Pakistani restaurant. And it includes a comprehensive renovation of the interior space, just minor exterior improvements, including wanting to eliminate the tree in front to put a patio. The Bawadi Mediterranean concept includes an outdoor patio in the back near the parking, and 1 or 2 spaces may be lost with that. We haven't seen a site plan at this time. The third bid was an indoor soft play space. Purchase offer by Eric Baker for $1,000. This was to construct a soft play center for children under 7 years old. Eric is a local resident who you may see at the farmer's market and events with the business Easily Motivated People, or EMT. The evaluation criteria that staff used to review this proposal was supports and suitable and successful uses. That is hard to say. Maximizes yield, improves property conditions, ensures sustainable commercial development in response to community needs. I'm going to walk through these briefly. Each of these is in the village board packet on the website in great detail if you'd like, and I can also answer any questions when I'm finished. So supports and sustainable and successful uses. The village seeks the highest and best use for the property. This means the use will positively affect the immediate area and the community as a whole. So we considered zoning compliance, including parking, whether or not it fits the goals of the B2 district that it's in. One of those goals is tax producing uses, the goals of the comprehensive plan, and any effects on the neighborhood and community. So looking at these, both restaurant proposals are permitted uses, which is a more straightforward approval process that doesn't require any extra zoning approval. An outdoor patio, which is a part of each restaurant would be a staff level additional limited use permit approval. And all parking requirements are met for both restaurants with this plan. The indoor play area does require a special use, which is a process that involves a public hearing with the Planning and Zoning Commission, final approval from the village, and that one also meets all parking requirements. So looking at this first category, Bawadi and Hussein, the two restaurants, they're high revenue generating uses, they're suitably located, and they are permitted by the zoning code, which sets them ahead. The next category we looked at is the maximum yield. And when we're looking at this, we're looking at projections, not just in year one, but through year 5. So while I think this demonstrates it best, the Hussein proposal is an offer of $50,000. So in the beginning, it's more than the 15,000 or the 1,000. But the projections for overall return on revenue over a 5-year period are slightly higher with Bawadi's, which in 5 years puts them at a higher yield. So both of these are very similar. They have higher yield and the projections are pretty close. And again, those are just projections based on their numbers of sales. Looking at the property conditions, this section focused on the benefit of the proposed property improvements. As you know, the village acquired this property to resolve issues that stem from delinquent taxes, deferred maintenance, and very long-term vacancy. So we've evaluated each bid based on how effectively it addresses and remedies the issues with the building. You can see the total proposed improvement building budget is for Bawadi between 650 and 800,000, and then for Hussein 900,000. So close. And then looking at the improvements, I would say these are the improvements that they included in their applications, but the roof and the fire alarm would have to be done before they could occupy the building, even though it's not listed here. So those would all have to be addressed. So both restaurants provide estimates that cover all of the required code improvements and are sufficient for the restaurant build out. Looking at sustainable commercial development, we'll discuss the experience of each potential owner. So we evaluated their commercial real estate management experience and also their construction experience, because Bawadi does own a construction company. Both have a background in restaurant operations. Mr. Hussein has extensive experience managing fast food facilities, including 2 successful Dunkin' Donuts franchises here. We do note that Mr. Bawadi does have what is the owner of Glenwood Oaks, which is currently closed and open only for private events. Mr. Bawadi's experience is more recent. Most of the experience we got from Mr. Hussein was from 1996 to 2005, whereas this is more recent, since 2019. And also with the construction experience, because owning their own construction company. So that gives Bawadi a larger, more recent resume. The next category addresses how each proposal aligns with the community's needs and aspirations. Staff evaluation was guided by the criteria that measure the proposal's ability to support local businesses, provide desired community services, and contribute to the character of Homewood. All 3 proposals offer a third space, which is something that the community desires and needs. However, the type of space varies significantly. Restaurants cater to dining and social gatherings. Soft play area serves young families. So the board should consider which third space fits this best. This was a restaurant previously. It's sort of built out for a restaurant already. So both projects align with both of the restaurant projects align with the community stated desires. So in summary, each of the proposals would be a wonderful addition to the community, and they do hit a lot of these criteria. Based on the evaluation of this specific location, Bawadi was most consistently met the evaluation criteria for this property. But after review of our analysis, we would request that the village board direct staff to negotiate a purchase and sale agreement and redevelopment agreement with one of the proposed developers. Thank you.
Thank you. It's representative here from Mr. Hussein.
I'm sorry,
Mr. Hussein have a representative here?
does not, he's out of town.
Mr. Bellotti, you're here.
Right.
No. Tell us a little bit about what you plan to do.
You're right on time.
Right on.
Hi. Yes, Munir. We own Bowen Construction. We are partner with some restaurants and coffee shops. Lombard, Bridgeview area and Chicago. So our plan is to bring Middle Eastern restaurants to this area, high end, with a nice design and nice hangout place, nice dining area and outside patio. And we're looking to also renovate outside of the building, make it look nice and bring something nice to Homewood. We also, we have our business here in Homewood, our office for Bawadi Construction, and we're trying to make it always nice and clean for the community in Homewood. And that's why trying to bring a nice stuff here.
There's a vacant space in the middle. which
Yeah,
would help
this
to buy-
one, the plan for this one, if we hopefully get this place, we're gonna negotiate the price with the bank. To get the third place and make it like a restaurant and a nice coffee shop too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thanks.
And Mr. Baker. Eric's not here. Comments or questions from anyone in the audience with regard to these proposals? Board comments? Trustee Hurston?
Yes, I would like to know how many people can you seat in your proposed restaurant?
So far, we kind of have inside between 30 to 40,
30 to
plus the outside.
Mr. Willis?
No question.
Trustee Eichmann?
I have no question.
Trustee Sneaky?
Sir, do you own Al Bawadi in Bridgeview? I know.
No, it's my last name is Al Bawadi, but this Bawadi is a common name in
Yeah, I knew that.
our country, so. But it's, yeah,
Okay.
We're not related to Al Bawadi.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Mason?
What are some of the restaurants that you do own? What are some of the restaurants that you do own, that you're partnering with?
Okay, so, that kind is in a Bridgeview, and we partner with, now we're doing an FC, which is. I'm not sure fried chicken, which is named famous, fried chicken, it's also from Dubai. We're doing also a restaurant in Lombard, it's called Manakish. Manakish, it's kind of. Arabian pizza. And we do also partner with some coffee shop. We send some pictures to for to look at it.
Okay,
It's a coffee shop. They have almost, I'm partnered with only one location, but it's a franchise from Yemen. And they do have 50 locations in all the US.
okay, thank you.
And it's a high-end like coffee.
Now, yours will have counter service and seating? The restaurant that you're proposing here, will it be mostly counter service? With
No,
available
it's
seat,
dine-in.
it'll be dine-in?
Yeah. dine-in.
Okay, so full service,
Yeah, full service.
okay. It will offer counter service?
Yes.
Okay.
Trustee Rowe?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. With all that being said, may I have a motion to direct staff to negotiate the purchase price with Hawaii?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Simpson. Seconded by. Seconded by.
Bill?
Seconded by trustee Mason. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Jason.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Rose. Aye.
Congratulations, you will be the owner of a property in Homewood, and we're looking forward to a new type of food over there. We look forward to it. Thank you. New business, the Finance Director, Ms. Sikowski.
Oh, that's. Right.
Good evening. So tonight you will be hearing from several of us staff members regarding a new revenue opportunity that was afforded to the Village of Homewood. The new proposed revenue stream is a 1% non-home rule local sales tax that could help to provide a solution to the growing and costly infrastructure, capital, and pension funding needs here in Homewood that need to be addressed in order to maintain the charm of Homewood. The new tax would provide an investment into Homewood's future.
So as everyone probably is already aware, on August 5th, Governor Pritzker, as part of removing the 1% grocery tax for municipalities, he actually gave local municipalities the ability to implement that 1% grocery tax. So as part of that negotiation, what Governor Pritzker also did, he gave non-home rule communities the ability to implement a 1% non-home rule sales tax without having to go to referendum. I'm sure you guys remember 3 years ago, our neighbors to the, we call them Homewood South, the Village of Flossmoor actually implemented a 1% non-home rule sales tax, but they went through referendum. So what Governor Pritzker did, he gave non-home rule communities the ability to avoid the referendum process and actually pass an ordinance which would implement 1% non-home rule sales tax. So part of this, well, we don't want to crowd everybody. We can, if you want me to stand. Okay, you stand at the podium. Yes, you all come to the podium. So part of this presentation is also an education, right? There are a lot of misconceptions as it relates to taxes in municipalities. One of the misconceptions is property taxes. We hear a lot of people, you know, and it's true, our property taxes based on the last process, our property taxes in Homewood is pretty high. I just want to share some information as it relates to property taxes. Our operating budget, that's the budget that controls purchasing, personnel, everything that we do as a municipality is controlled or funded through the general fund, which is our operating budget. That's roughly $27.7 million. How is that funded? Let's take property taxes. So the village board levies a property tax every year. That means we ask the residents and property taxpayers of Homewood to help us fund this operation, this $27.7 million need. We receive roughly $7.254 million from that property tax process, right? That's our fund, that's our money, comes to our coffers. The unique part about that only equates to 11 cents out of every dollar that a property taxpayer pays in Homewood. 11 cents out of every dollar that you pay. That's what this $7.254 million equates to. Let's break that down. So of the $7.254 million that we received, right off the top, $747,000 goes to a debt payment. That's our bond, the GO bond that the board approves every 3 years. So that debt service comes off the top. So we're down to roughly, so subtract $747,000 from that 7.254. Also, right off the top, roughly $4 million comes off to fund police and fire and non-public service pensions. Right off the top, $4 million. So what are we left with? We're left the funding that actually goes to our general fund to help fund the $27.7 million operating budget is only $2.5 million after everything is actually removed from the top. People always ask us about casino revenue. Our casino revenue right now is trending roughly 1.1. It's only 4% of that $27.7 million operating budget. We'll talk more about that later. And of our sales tax revenue, sales tax. How do we fund this $27.7 million It's nuts. How do we fund that? The majority of that comes from our tax revenue, which the largest of which is our sales tax revenue, roughly 6.2 million or 22% of our operating budget. Get this.
So what is the non-home rule sales tax? It is up to an additional 1% of local sales tax that would be imposed on all of our businesses that are selling tangible personal property. So just like our current sales tax. However, there are some exclusions for the non-home rule sales tax. Some of the items that are excluded is anything that needs to be titled or registered with the state. So for example, cars and trucks, you register with the Secretary of State's office. Those would be excluded from this additional sales tax. Any prepared food purchases, sale of groceries, prescription, non-prescription drugs, and medical appliances. So yes, the board did approve the implementation of the grocery tax, which made it just kind of status quo. We didn't lose that grocery tax. It kind of remained where it was, but those groceries would not be taxed an additional 1%. They would be excluded from this new local tax. So the village's current sales tax rate is 9%. So you can see the breakdown portion. It goes to Cook County, part of it goes to the Regional Transit Authority, and then the state's base is 6.25%. So of that 6.25%, Homewood receives 1% of that.
And that's for the $6.2 million, correct?
Yes, that is generated from that 1% there. So with this new non-home rule sales tax, our rate would then be 10%. And when we looked at some of our communities around us, the average sales tax rate within Cook County, especially in the south suburbs, whether they're home rule or non-home rule, the average is 10%. So we've listed here some of our regional comparisons, and we've noted whether they're a home rule or non-home rule community. So there are several non-home rule communities, as Napoleon mentioned, are Flossmoor. They are non-home rule. They have this local sales tax, and their current tax rate is at 10%. So we would say that by having this additional sales tax, it just aligns us with our neighboring communities. It doesn't put our businesses at a disadvantage. Consumer shopping is often based on proximity to the merchandise and not necessarily what the sales tax rate is. So we don't feel like this would put our businesses in a bad situation. So why this tax and why now? Well, we're afforded the opportunity through the new legislation to pass this tax via an ordinance. But also Homewood attracts an exceptional amount of non-local shoppers. So this is a huge benefit when we're considering implementing this non-home rule sales tax, because it's paid by all shoppers, but it primarily benefits the residents here in Homewood.
Yeah.
No.
We'll have everybody.
Full cast this evening. All right.
85.
So just to add a little bit of context to this view that all residents are or all shoppers are getting this tax, but residents are the primary beneficiaries of this tax. We hired a consultant called the Retail Coach. They're out of Mississippi. They use cell phone data similar to some of the kind of place-based data kind of monitoring programs that you'll see that really gets you in-depth location data about where people are shopping, where they're going, where they're spending time, and where they're coming from. For what it's worth, it's fully anonymized. This is not like a Minority Report kind of surveillance, but it is really useful for communities like ours for looking at the impacts of decisions like this. And so these surveys let us look at all of our commercial areas in Homewood. We actually broke it into 5 different areas: Halsted, downtown, Southgate, and looked at, again, who is shopping there, and then what is the projected revenue from based on those numbers that would come from people outside of Homewood and then Homewood residents themselves. And to illustrate that that difference, we could look at Halsted Street. Halsted Street accounts for about 60% of all of the sales tax revenue that comes from the village. It is a massively important economic driver for the village. However, in that corridor, while it's 60% of our revenue, 88% of the shoppers, or the people who are spending extended amounts of time there, are non-residents. And so of the approximately, several $1 million of sales tax revenue that's coming from Halsted Street, 88% of that is coming from non-residents. And if we look at the entire village as a whole, who is shopping from Homewood versus outside of Homewood, almost 85% of the revenue that we'll generate from a sales tax, about $3.5 million in the case of this tax, would actually come from shoppers who are coming from outside of Homewood, just because Homewood is such a regional hub where people are actually coming here to go to restaurants, to go to our larger stores. We're a really key part of the south suburbs. And so you'll see that again, we're drawing in tax revenue from across the region, but the village of Homewood is the primary beneficiary of that. So visitors sharing a large portion of the responsibility of this tax. Thank you.
Move on. Okay. So why consider a non-home rule sales tax tonight? So over the past year, staff has emphasized the importance of this 5-year capital plan. So much to the point, Napoleon will always tell us, be capital minded, be capital minded. See, I'm sorry. And so this capital plan kind of serves as our road plan, and it helps us, make all our major decisions. So with that, we came together as a staff to think of what do we need, not what do we want. These are critical infrastructures that we need to invest in. And so we needed to come up with a plan that, encompassed all of that. And so that was street improvement, public safety vehicles, and water infrastructure improvement. And so before I pass it over to Josh, I also want you guys to realize that we have a $70 million mandate from the IEPA and the EPA. So we have to get that done in 10 years and $70 million. So that's something that is not a want, that's what we need to do. And so Josh, if you want to get into the street replacement program.
So I brought a little chart.
Yeah, that's a literal group project here.
There you go. All right, so I brought a little chart. Public safety vehicles and equipment, very important. Water main infrastructure, very, very important. And the reason why that is so critical is we gotta put stuff in the ground and then we have to fix the ground. So we built out this data chart here. We built, our road improvement is based off of our MFT dollars of $750,000. Right off the top of that, $100,000 goes into salt. And what we're left with is $650,000 to fix our roads. And so we put this into a data chart, how to capitalize on that money the best. And what you been seeing around town is a lot of patching. We're right there towards the end of that this coming year, and we're gonna start getting into more of the milling and overlay. We're gonna start to see much more improvements, smoother conditions, but part of that, water improvements, you gotta get the ground fixed first and then build it back. That's what, there you go.
So another mandate we're also looking at, we got plenty of mandates. I'm sorry. This one's coming also from the state, and that's to fully fund pensions by 2040 by 90%. And so right now, the village currently, what do we do? We currently, oh yeah, I'm sorry. So right now we collect 93% of property taxes just for pension. And so this has created a deficit of $1.6 million over the past decade. And so that's something we also need to fill that gap. So with this non-home rule sales tax, we can share the cost, share future costs with non-residents and visitors, and also get some critical infrastructure needs that we need to get completed. And so it's something that we should really consider.
So how does the implementation of this new tax and the village's significant needs work together and benefit the Homewood residents? So if we were to implement this non-home rule sales tax, we projecting to generate approximately conservatively $3.5 million per year in additional sales tax revenue. And what we would ideally like to do is to maximize that $3.5 million by using it to potentially consider future debt. So by issuing some larger
bonds, we would be able to pay those back using this new non-home rule sales tax. The larger debt issuance would allow us to have a significant influx in cash that we could be used directly to affect our capital needs and pension funding needs, while not requiring our Homewood residents to pay the debt back through their property taxes. So again, it's kind of the theme tonight that non-resident shoppers in Homewood would be sharing in the responsibility of making this investment in Homewood's future. So what if we don't implement this new tax? Well, the fact is that we still have the need, we still have the capital projects, we still have the lead service line, we still have pension funding considerations. So there needs to be some solution. So when staff, as you can see, all departments have participated in this and analyzed this and put a lot of thought into, is this the best option? And as of right now, this is the best solution that we have that would really provide the benefit to our residents.
And it's a rare option to create a tax that's crowdsourced, create a tax that's not necessarily targeted to your community, but 88%, at least the Halsted corridor, which is roughly 60% of our sales tax revenue, other outside community members can fund. But the actual proceeds of this tax will only benefit Homewood residents. It's a rare opportunity. So in summary, so obviously, like every other municipality, look, this is not unique to Homewood. Every municipality has to do road improvement projects. Every municipality has to deal with rising pension costs. Every municipality has to deal with all of the ills that we deal with as a municipality, unfunded mandates, lead line service. This is not a Homewood problem. This is a common issue that's happening across the nation. We have infrastructure challenges that we have to repair. That's one of the hard parts of repairing these large items, is that they cost a ton of money. And that these items, if left unattended to, only go up in cost. Property taxes alone can't solve the problem. We saw even with our 11 cents out of every dollar that you pay, it only really brings $2.5 million into our general fund. Casino revenue alone can't solve the problem. We are a home rule community with limitations as far as taxation. Thanks to the property tax extension limiting law. This is just a solution. So we got together as a staff. We wanted to present this solution to the board with the hopes that you would consider it, discuss it, let us know, is there additional information that we need to go back to bring, any comparative information. But this is the 1% non-home rule sales tax presentation in its current iteration.
And our one final slide is just what the potential next steps and kind of the timeline would be. So if the board chooses to give direction to staff to move forward with an ordinance, we would get that ready for the next meeting on September 9th. We would need to file that ordinance with the Illinois Department of Revenue by October 1st. In order for it to go into effect on January 1st. So October 1st is our deadline with the state to implement the tax in January. There's a 3-month delay in when the sales tax is received by the businesses and when it is actually remitted to the municipalities. So we wouldn't see anything until April of 2026. So we would, be evaluating and watching how that comes in, and then down the road, we would want to consider maybe, again, maximizing that non-rural sales tax to consider using it as debt service for a larger but that would be over time as we kind of see the payments come in and have a better projection of what we might receive. That's all for this evening, but we're all here. Do you have any questions?
Sure. It was a nice team effort. Chief Grabowski, you didn't have a role in this. Did you want to say anything?
15 million for fire trucks and ambulances.
Thank you very much for that. Okay. Personally, I see we can use that stream of revenue with regard to floating a bond on that. We'll have a lengthy discussion on it at a later time. As you know, I abhor debt, and the thought of paying interest just gets to, there's better ways we can utilize that stream of revenue without going to long-term debt. but that's another discussion. But I support this as well. Comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, yes. Well, I do have a couple of questions. I'd like to start off by saying that I am not tax averse. I see what happens in communities and states where they don't raise taxes, and I drive in Indiana. Don't even get me started. I would like to, I do have some questions. Could you go back to the slide where you were showing us how the current, where the current revenues come from? One of the very first ones.
Yeah.
Where you were, okay, so what I'm trying to figure out is you said that, 2.5 comes from property tax, 4 from the casino, and 22% from sales tax. Well, that's only 35%. Where's the rest of the money? Because even if you raise 1% sales tax, then you're at 36%. So where's the rest of the 27 million coming?
So in total of our $27 million budget, 76% of that comes from taxes. So whether that's these ones that we mentioned here, property tax, casino, sales tax, but there's also income tax, places for eating tax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're all smaller, use tax, cannabis tax, but they add up to really fund the majority of our operating budget.
Okay.
The rest comes from permits and fines and fees and miscellaneous.
Yeah, business licenses.
Business.
Okay, so the next slide I was wondering about is the one that showed the capital projects. Okay, so again, not tax averse, but the lead service line replacement program, the village already approved increasing all of our water rates to cover that, so that shouldn't really be covered in this project, right?
So we did not bring the rate increase to the board yet. We did perform a water rate study, which will be presented in the next month or so to the board, which will recommend the water rate increases. So everything that we've done so far was just the presentation and education. But this non-home rule sales tax has the potential to provide some savings on those rate increases. So that kind of all has to be, laid out, but there is some potential that we won't have to raise the rates maybe quite as much if we can utilize this new sales tax.
I apologize, I thought that had already been passed.
Yeah, no, not quite.
Because I remember that they had to vote on whether it was option 1, 2, or 3.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And that was to complete the study. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I know.
Yep.
Okay, and lastly, my last question is, if this sales tax gets passed, this 1%, and you're going to use it to help fund the 5-year capital improvement plan, will some of that go to the 183rd Road Diet project? Because there's a lot of us who would like to.
Depends on whether it's approved or not.
Huh?
Depends on where we go with it. It could go for the signalization.
Yeah, and that's a discussion that the second meeting in September, that's a discussion that the board will have.
Okay,
at that second meeting.
So what input will the community have on deciding, let's say the 1% passes, or the board votes for it, what input will the community have on the difference or the choice between the road diet and the lights?
Well, it's basic priority. Think about this. We $60 million in capital. We're talking about roads that are failing. We're
Right.
talking about equipment that's failing, roofs that are failing. We would like to prioritize that. While we understand that 183rd Street is a critical issue right now in our community, we still have to prioritize some of these critical needs. And everybody understands that lead service line, there is no more critical need in America than to remove out the lead service lines from.
Absolutely,
home. So
absolutely, and
it's a
that's why you
prioritization.
got it split out, but I'm just asking, if the community is saying that they don't want the light and they want the road diet, and you're doing a 1% sales tax, and you're saying that the capital improvement, which as I understand it, is the road diet is part of that,
It's
has
included.
been all along. Will the board be supporting what the community wants if it's not a light?
Well, that's.
We'll be looking at the capital needs, which include fire engines, It includes trucks, it includes road work,
I understand.
all of that. There's a broad scope there, I mean,
Will there be an opportunity for the
absolutely,
community to say
absolutely.
what they want?
Yes, there will.
Just to be clear now, I don't want you, as far as prioritization, here are our priorities right here.
Right.
It's important for us to get these lead lines done. It's important for us to get the roads done. So it's a prioritization. I understand what you're saying, but again, it's a priority and it's critical, so.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying as part of that, you know, 183rd, there should be more community conversation with the board.
Thank you. Any other comments? Board comments? Trustee Harris Jones.
I would like to thank each and every one of the staff for all of your presentations. Very, very informative for all of us. Thank you.
Trustee Wills.
Appreciate it as well. You were showing a slide before about the surrounding communities and their tax rates, and a lot of them have already implemented this tax, is that right?
The home rule community can implement it in any.
So if we residents in Homewood are shopping at our surrounding communities, we are paying with tax already, right? But we're not getting any benefit.
And it sounds like the community is not shopping on Halsted. You know, so 88% of the shoppers are coming from other communities.
We are also shopping in.
Other communities.
No. Okay.
Whether or not we consider,
Yes.
the option for larger, servicing larger
Yeah,
debt in the
yeah.
future, that's a whole nother discussion, but on the surface, I think we would be foolish not to put this in. I need to support.
Trustee Chin.
Fantastic presentation. I think that, the village has invested so much into so many different areas that this is an opportunity to recoup some of those losses without overburdening our residents. So the people that come here, we invested this. This was the purpose of us TIF money and everything else, investing into these areas. Now we're drawing customers here, and this is just another avenue for us to recoup some of that. So I think it's a good idea.
Trustee Mason.
You know, I really appreciate this group project. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And just, it really makes me proud as a resident to have staff that does this type of planning, because in my day job, I work with a lot of communities that do not plan, and by not planning, they pretty much plan to fail. And then that's when we get called. So thank you guys so much for the hard work, the research, the diligence that you put into this. I want to ask real quickly about that 1.6 gap with the pensions. Once that 1.6 gap is filled, what percent funded will it be? Will it be 100% funded?
No, I think it would get us closer to the 90%
Get us-
funded
okay.
that we need to be at by 2040. Oh,
See?
I actually sit on both of the pension boards.
Okay.
Where that 1.6 came from is over the years, the board levied what they were supposed to each year. But the collection rate was less than that. So that was actually brought to our attention, I think it was a little over a year ago. Because the other thing is, it's hard to keep track of from one year to the next in terms of what your collection rate is. But over time, that is built up. So that's where the 1.6 came from.
Okay.
And so this would actually bring us back to if we were levying and collecting 100% of the tax. So it won't be fully funded, but we'll be
put us
back
on the path
on
to.
track.
Put us back on the record.
Isn't there also a state mandate that we have to be funded?
Like
certain
20%.
percent?
Correct. But this is a gap between what what the board and the village has levied and what's actually collected. And
So
so
this
that's,
1.
we're making up that 1.6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And this 1.6 is a hard dollar.
Yeah.
This is, yeah. It's,
Right.
To ensure we meet
it's a
the
net
mandate.
over to the pension.
Ensure we
Right.
meet the mandate.
We stay on track.
Okay.
Also, Amy, you mentioned that, you know, we would have to approve and file this by October 1st in order for it to be implemented January 1st, 2026. Is there an expiration date on this?
There currently is not, the
Okay.
legislation does not, but it is, you know, at any time.
At
I'm
any time, you
sure-
can say it's over.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, so we'd like to move forward as we have the opportunity.
I agree. it's a really unique opportunity. Well, I want to say, Noah, you talked about the firm that did the data analysis of where Homewood shoppers are, you know, and 88% is 88% are from non-residents. Where are Homewood shoppers shopping?
Indiana.
Yeah,
Well.
I mean, it didn't collect that, I'm sure,
Yeah,
but
so some of that, well, so they look at it by zip code, and Homewood has largely one zip code, and. Some of that is just because Homewood draws from such a large area around the region.
right.
Homewood is 19,700 people, but you're talking about a trade area, quote unquote, of people who regularly rely on us, so if you're talking 250,000 people.
Yeah.
It's a large area.
Exactly.
And so that, and you can start to see how you can quickly get to a 12% of shoppers being Homewood, even if everyone is Homewood is regularly relying on Falls Street.
Gotcha.
And I would say the different shopping quarters, that percentage varied, you know,
Yep.
downtown was a little bit more heavy. on
Right.
Resident shoppers,
Right.
so, but health was kind of the bread and butter of the sales.
Yeah, but I think, you know, like you said, this is a unique opportunity to basically crowdfund. You know, and so where are you guys shopping?
No. Homewood shoppers shop in Homewood, but we have so many more from outside.
Yes.
It's a percentage.
Yeah, that's great.
Percentage from the
Exactly.
outside.
Gotcha.
Thank God for Halsted.
Thank God for Halsted.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm at Target at least once a day, so this is gonna affect me, the 1%, over at my Target pickup once a day. Were you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Pointed to me, but
No,
okay.
I'm done. Thank you.
I support this 100%. I mean, I don't know how anybody could look at all of this and not support it. I'm sure people will. I'm sure there will be other opinions, and I'm interested to hear them, but I think this is needed for our community. Thank you guys so much for your presentation. It was lovely. And I did just have one question. I know there were some floating ideas about maybe some other perks to our community members that would get taken away if we implement this. Is anything
We'll be
happening?
discussing that in conjunction with youth system.
Okay,
We're looking at a couple of options. Realistic, or we're looking at some options.
okay.
Yeah.
I fully support. Please support. Getting rid of that program. That's my vote.
All right. with that
You all know
said,
that.
I have a motion to direct staff to implement the 1% non-home rule sales tax ordinance to be presented to the village board on September 9th. So it's been moved by trustee Heichman, seconded by trustee Willis. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harrison?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis? Aye. Trustee Martin? Aye. Trustee King?
Yeah, I.
Trustee Rice?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. General board discussion. Trustee Harrison.
Thank you. I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Congratulations to all the people the police officers that were sworn in tonight. And thanks for the presentation by the staff. And is it Michael and Mitchell's? We're looking forward to them coming back with their liquor license and the bookstore. That would be great. So I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight.
I agree with all of that.
Safe holiday weekend.
Yes.
Trustee James.
Looking forward to all the new businesses coming in town. Great job by Chief McGrath. Looks like we got some great new candidates here. So as always, great presentation by the staff, and yeah, everyone have a very safe holiday weekend.
Everybody have a great holiday weekend. Everything has already been said. Chief McGrath, these new candidates are excellent, but it looks so young. Maybe it's just me getting so old. They look so young. Yeah, well, we definitely wish them the best. Thank you.
I thought they were high school.
I thought they were gonna get up and get involved with this presentation. How many people?
You're part of the CAPS program.
I don't really have anything to add other than thank you guys for being here, and thanks for sticking it out for our long meeting and being involved in our community.
For the good meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second?
Been moved by trustee Simpson, seconded by trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Mason.
Oh, Mason?
Yeah.
Okay, seconded by trustee Mason.
No. Mason and.
You just don't want me to do
Just-
it.
Moved by
I
Mason.
made the motion.
I made the
You
motion.
made the second.
I make the
No,
motion.
no. he made
She
it.
second.
I didn't do anything.
Let's do it again. Who's on first?
I'm on first.
Motion made by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones. Aye. Trustee Willis. Aye. Trustee Heiserman. Aye. Trustee Singleton.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you all.